You found the perfect piece of land. It is cheap. It is beautiful. The seller is motivated. You are ready to pull the trigger. And then you lose every single dollar you put down, and the land was never yours to begin with. This is not a horror story I made up. This is happening right now, in 2026, to people exactly like you who are chasing the tiny home dream. According to the FBI's own Internet Crime Complaint Center, real estate fraud losses hit $275 million in 2025 alone. That number jumped 59% from the year before. And the FBI confirmed that vacant land buyers are among the most targeted victims. But here's the thing. Every single one of those scams has a warning sign. There's always a tell. And today I'm going to walk you through the 5 red flags that land scammers are hoping you never find out about. Stay until the end, because red flag number 5 is the one almost nobody talks about, and it could kill your entire tiny home project before you ever break ground. Real quick before we dive in, if you are new here, this channel is all about tiny homes, alternative housing, and helping you build smart without getting burned. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss a video like this one. Now let's get into it. Land is the foundation of every tiny home dream. Whether you want a foundation build, a tiny house on wheels parked permanently, or an off-grid setup deep in the country, you need land. And that is exactly why scammers love targeting this space. Tiny home buyers are often first-time land buyers. They are not experienced in real estate transactions. They are motivated, sometimes emotionally invested, and often in a hurry to make the dream happen. That combination makes them a prime target. Scammers know this. They are professional. They are patient. And in 2025 and 2026, they have leveled up with AI tools that make fake listings, fake identities, and forged documents look completely real. The FBI documented over 12,000 real estate fraud complaints in 2025 alone, and the tactics are getting more convincing every year. But the red flags have not changed much. And once you know them, you cannot unsee them. Let me ask you something. If someone offered to sell you a brand new truck for $300, would you think they were generous? Or would you think something is very wrong here? Land works the same way. One of the oldest and most effective tricks in a land scam playbook is listing property at a price that is dramatically below what comparable parcels are actually selling for. We're not talking about a good deal. We're talking about land that should be worth $50,000 listed at $12,000. A 5-acre parcel going for the price of a used car. Why do scammers price low? 2 reasons. First, it attracts a flood of interest fast, which creates false urgency. Second, a low price makes buyers less cautious. You think you're getting away with something, so your guard drops. Here is what is actually happening behind the scenes. The scammer has gone into public records, which are fully public and searchable by anyone, found a vacant parcel with no mortgage attached to it, stolen the real owner's identity, and is now posing as that owner to sell land that is not theirs. And in 2026, Land Modo analysts note that land prices have broadly normalized after years of volatility. The era of buying anything and watching it double is over. Which means if something looks like a steal right now, your antenna should go up immediately. Due diligence is the new appreciation. That is the mindset you need. What you should do, before you get emotionally attached to a price, look up comparable land sales in that county on Zillow, Lands of America, or your county assessor's website. If this listing is more than 20 to 30% below realistic comps, slow down and investigate before going any further. Here's a scenario that plays out over and over in land scams. You find a listing. You reach out. The seller is super responsive. They want to talk. But every time you try to get them on a video call or suggest meeting at the property, something comes up. They are overseas. They are dealing with a family emergency. They are in the military. They have a work conflict. There is always a reason. This is not a coincidence. It is a strategy. FBI Special Agent Joe Sullivan put it plainly. Scammers want to do everything online. Anything that could expose their real identity, including a face-to-face meeting, a local showing, or a real video call, is something they will work hard to avoid. Now here's where it gets more serious. In 2025 and 2026, scammers are using AI voice cloning and deepfake video technology. That means even if you do get someone on a video call, it may not be the real property owner looking back at you. The FBI's 2025 IC3 report recorded over 22,000 AI-related fraud complaints with nearly $900 million in losses tied, specifically to AI-assisted schemes. So how do you spot a deepfake on a seller call? Watch for unnatural blinking or eye movement. Look for a face that seems slightly out of sync with the audio. Watch for pixelation or blurring around the hairline and ears. These are still common tells in 2026. If anything feels off, stop the call and verify separately. What you should do: always insist on video verification and cross-reference the person you see with the property owner's name from county records. If the land is within driving distance, go walk it yourself and talk to neighbors. If the seller resists any form of in-person verification, walk away. Legitimate real estate transactions move through a defined process. There is an offer. There is escrow. There is a title search. There is a closing. It typically takes several weeks. Scammers hate that process. Every step is an opportunity for you or a professional to catch the fraud, so they will pressure you to skip it entirely. Watch for these pressure tactics. They will say the deal is about to go to another buyer. They will say they need a deposit today to take the listing down. They will say the closing process is too expensive and you can just Venmo them a down payment. They will ask for payment via Zelle, PayPal, cryptocurrency, wire transfer to an unfamiliar account, or even gift cards. Gift cards for land. Let that sink in for a second. According to the FBI's 2025 IC3 report, wire fraud and cryptocurrency were the two most common payment methods used in real estate scams. Business email compromise, where criminals hack into a transaction's email chain and swap in fake wire instructions, generated over $3 billion in losses across all real estate categories in 2025 alone. And here is something that title companies are now sending to every buyer before closing: a wire fraud warning document. If you work with a legitimate title company, they will give you one of these. It spells out exactly how to verify wire instructions and what never to do. If your transaction does not include one of those, that is itself a warning sign. What you should do: never pay for land outside of a legitimate escrow process handled by a licensed title company. Never act on wire instructions you received only by email. Always call the title company directly using a phone number you found independently, not one the seller gave you. If anyone is pressuring you to move fast or skip proper closing, stop everything. Okay, this one is different from the others. Red flags 1 through 3 are about outright fraud, criminals trying to steal your money. Red flag 4 is about something almost as dangerous: a completely legal transaction that still destroys your tiny home plans because you did not check the zoning before you bought. Here is the reality: buying land does not automatically give you the right to build on it, to live on it, or to hook up utilities. In 2026, this is still the #1 reason tiny home projects fail, even when the land purchase itself is completely legitimate. Some rural parcels look perfect, but are zoned agricultural only, meaning no residential structure. Some are zoned residential, but have a minimum square footage requirement of 1,000 or even 1,200 square feet for a primary dwelling, which immediately disqualifies a tiny home. Some jurisdictions still have not adopted Appendix Q of the International Residential Code, which is the building code amendment that makes foundation-built tiny homes of 400 square feet or less legally possible. And many cities will not allow water or electric hookups without a certificate of occupancy. If your structure cannot meet local code, you cannot get that certificate. You own land you legally cannot live on. The zoning landscape has improved in some places, but it is still a patchwork. And the story of what happened in Georgia this year is a perfect example of why you cannot assume the laws have caught up yet. Georgia's House Bill 1166 aimed to legalize small homes statewide, overriding restrictive local zoning. It passed the state house with 111 votes, which is a strong majority. People in the tiny home community were excited, but then it stalled in the Senate and died before the legislative session ended in April 2026. It did not become law. In a state where many people thought progress was already made, buyers who had purchased land counting on that bill are now back at square one. That is the cautionary tale. Never buy land based on legislation that has not yet been signed into law. Now here's the green flag on the other side of that coin. Texas SB 2413 is now law. It went into effect in late 2025, and it is a genuine win. For the first time, Texas has given tiny homes up to 500 square feet their own legal category, separate and distinct from RVs. That matters enormously because it clarifies how tiny homes and tiny home communities are treated under Texas law. If you're looking at land in Texas, especially in more rural counties, this opens real doors that were closed before. What you should do, before you make any offer on any piece of land, call the local planning and zoning department directly. Ask specifically whether a tiny home, an ADU, or a dwelling under 400 square feet is permitted on that parcel. Ask about minimum square footage requirements. Ask about utility connection rules. Do not rely on the seller, a listing agent, or a Facebook group for this information. Go straight to the source. It is a free phone call, and it can save you everything. Here is the one almost nobody talks about, and it is the one I mentioned at the very top of this video. Even if the seller is completely real, even if the land is legitimately theirs to sell, even if the price is fair and the zoning works perfectly for your tiny home, you could still end up owning a piece of land loaded with hidden problems. Those problems live in the title. A title is the legal record of ownership for a piece of land, and land can carry baggage from its past. Back taxes owed to the county, liens from unpaid contractors or creditors, ownership disputes from a prior estate or divorce, encumbrances that restrict how the land can be used, an easement giving a utility company or a neighboring landowner the legal right to cross your property. In a legitimate real estate transaction, a professional title search is conducted before closing. A licensed title company digs through public records, verifies a clean chain of ownership, and flags any unresolved issues. But in quick or informal land deals, especially owner-finance transactions or deals found through Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, that step very often gets skipped. Skipping it can mean you purchase land that comes preloaded with debt, legal disputes, or restrictions that make your tiny home impossible to build. And then there is the newer, scarier version of this problem: title fraud, also known as title piracy. Scammers file fraudulent or forged deeds with a county recorder to transfer your land into their name, even after you already own it. This sounds extreme, but it is documented and growing. These schemes often go completely undetected until after money has already been wired out. The American Land Title Association confirmed in April 2026 that fraud schemes are becoming more convincing and more sophisticated, and that title professionals are the frontline defense against them. What you should do: always insist on a professional title search by a licensed title company before you close. Always purchase title insurance. It is not expensive relative to the price of land, and it protects you against exactly this kind of problem. Once you own your land, sign up immediately for title monitoring alerts through your county recorder's office. Many counties offer this service for free. You will be notified anytime a document is recorded against your property, giving you the chance to catch fraud before it does permanent damage. Alright, now you know what to watch out for. Let me give you the framework that actually works. Step 1. Research comparable land prices in your target area before you fall in love with any listing. Know what fair market value looks like, so no one can trick you with a fake deal. Step 2. Call the county planning department before you make any offer. Verify zoning, minimum square footage rules, and utility connection requirements. This call is free. It takes 15 minutes, and it can tell you everything you need to know about whether that land will actually work for a tiny home. Step 3. Verify ownership. Go to your county assessor or recorder's website and look up the parcel by address or APN number. The name on the public record must match the name on your contract. If it does not match, stop immediately. Step 4. Hire a real estate attorney or work with a licensed agent who specializes in land transactions. Yes, it costs money. It costs a lot less than losing your land to a scammer or buying something you cannot build on. Step 5. Always use a licensed title company for your closing. Always get a title search. Always buy title insurance. No exceptions. No shortcuts. Step 6. Never send money outside of a proper escrow process. Not for a deposit. Not for a down payment. Not for any reason whatsoever. Do those 6 things, and you will be miles ahead of the people who are getting taken advantage of every single day in this space. The tiny home dream is real. It is absolutely achievable, but it starts with smart decisions before a single nail gets hammered. The land you buy will either be the foundation of your dream or the reason it falls apart. Now you know the 5 red flags to watch for. Share this video with anyone you know who is thinking about buying land. This information can save someone thousands of dollars. If you want to go even deeper, Check out my video on shed to tiny house conversions and my full breakdown of tiny home zoning laws by state. Both are linked in the description below. Drop a comment and tell me. Have you ever come across a sketchy land listing? I want to hear your story. I will see you in the next one.